Let's get these things put away here. Use all done. What? What do you mean I'm not done recording for the day? I did the Disney-vember reviews. I mean, what is left? Oh. I have episodes of Dragon Ball Daima to catch up on. Oh. Okay. Give me an hour, and I'll come back.
Where fights pack lots of punch, jokes a lots of fun. No time for waiting. Jump, 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 jump. Come with courage in your heart. Full strength for the next battle.
Yeah, I kind of fell behind on the Daima reviews, didn't I? Oops. My bad. A lot's been going on lately, but I got time now since we're done with the Disney-vember reviews for the day, so why don't we dive back into it, shall we? But can I just say before we begin, how great it is that I can talk about Dragon Ball again? Because I've pretty much reviewed everything up to this point. I've reviewed pretty much all the movies, I've reviewed the original Dragon Ball, I've reviewed DBZ, and I've reviewed Super. So it's nice that there's something new that's Dragon Ball related that I can actually talk about here on the channel, and I don't have to hold back on the spoilers. Because having spoiler-free anime episode reviews kind of sounds like an oxymoron, so yes, you heard me right. We are back in the world of Dragon Ball to talk about the episodes of Daima that I need to catch up on, starting with episode 2. Not quite as great as the last one, but still a great episode, and we're going to talk about why. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to New Station, which is Jeffrey and Diminishing, including two Super Saiyans that fight for the fate of the Earth, as well as TV and movies. I'm your host, Jackson Small. Welcome back to our little Dragon Ball marathon. Welcome back to our delve into the brand new world of Dragon Ball Daima with Episode 2, Glorio. You guys ran up the reviews like crazy on my review for the first episode, Conspiracy. And I apologize for falling behind. A lot has been happening in October and early November. But thankfully, I am all caught up now, so now I can review the remaining episodes with you guys. But remember, I'm going off of the Netflix order, not the other order. So that means you're not getting episode 5 until this Friday. So, yeah. Without further ado, and with my rambling all done, let's talk about Dragon Ball Daima Episode 2, and why this is definitely a show you need to be watching right now. Starting, of course, with our plot synopsis. Oh, there isn't one for this episode. Interesting. Okay. So, no synopsis. Let's just go right into the summary. Having successfully made his wish to make all those who fought Majin Buu, along with their friends, into children and babies, Gomah is stunned to learn that he cannot make 2 additional wishes. Because he's a noob, according to the dialogue, which I found that pretty funny. Questioning Shenron on this, the dragon informs him that such a luxury is only meant for regulars and that first-timers only get 1 wish instead. It's nice that even Shenron has a sense of humor. With that, Shenron takes his leave, the Dragon Balls turn to stone, scatter across the earth once more. An annoyed Gomah complains, saying that if he knew such a thing was going to happen, he would have just asked for the evil third eye instead. Despite his insistence, Neva tells Gomah that he is unable to summon forth the Demon Realm Dragon Balls, or Earth's Dragon Balls a second time. Moving on, Gomah decides to take the childlike Dende with him, so that the Dragon Balls will no longer be useful on Earth, and now boarding a spaceship returning to the Demon Realm. Meanwhile, at the Capsule Corporation, a much smaller Goku and Vegeta fall from the sky, almost plummeting into Krillin on their way down. I can't help but feel like that's a funny dig at how Krillin is a punching bag in the movies. After the initial shock of realizing what has happened to them, Shin tells Goku of an unpleasant presence that he sensed at the lookout. However, when Goku attempts to fly over there, he quickly loses his control and falls, being thrown off by his sudden change of balance. Kibito instead uses his Kai to instantly teleport everyone there, including Piccolo, a reference to Dragon Ball Super. Shortly after they arrive at the lookout, Mr. Popo informs everyone that Dende has been kidnapped by some pointy-eared individuals from the Demon Realm, one of which being named Degisu, who Shin acknowledges as his brother. Goku urgently decides to hurry and go rescue Dende, and so Shin commands Kibito to fetch the spaceship back on the sacred world of the Kais, as it is their only means of traveling there. However, after Kibito quickly teleports there and back with the ship, Shin looks it over, realizing that it will no longer turn on due to being neglected for so long. And yes, the Supreme Kai being called Shin is a reference to his tournament name from the Buu saga. I want to make that clear because I know I'm probably going to get comments about it if I don't point it out. Goku suggests getting Bulma to help fix the ship, but once again, when he flies off, he quickly stumbles to the ground. Kibito uses his teleportation to bring Bulma as well as Vegeta with him. Bulma takes a look at the ship, believing that it will take her 10 days to fix. Okay, I should probably talk about this scene, because for some reason it's not in the summary, but it's my favorite scene in the episode. Goku is struggling to fly up on the lookout, and he is hanging off the edge of the lookout to avoid plummeting to the ground. And Piccolo is like, you should know how to fly by now. And Goku is just like, okay, well, why don't you do it then? So Piccolo tries to fly, only to realize that he has no balance either and just face plants into a tree. So both of them have to relive how to fly, which reminds me so much of the learning to drive filler from the original Z. Oh, it's so funny. Like, that scene, it's so funny. It's my favorite scene in the episode. I rewound it so many times and laughed so hard. 2 days later, as Bulma continues to work on the ship, Goku continues his training in order to get used to his new body, now capable of flight once again, but not used to a shorter combat range. As Goku comes up with an idea and takes off, Shin and Kibito explain to Vegeta about the workings of the Demon Realm. Long ago, the inhabitants of the Demon Realm were freely able to leave their world for the outside world, but as time passed by, it became forbidden, and now special permission must be granted in order to arrive and depart from there. In other words, adding to the lore. Meanwhile, Goku heads to Korin Tower to ask Korin about the location of his power pole, who surmises that Master Roshi has it. After traveling to Kami House, he eventually finds that the legendary weapon is being used as a clothing line. Ah, that classic signature Toriyama humor. Upon heading back to the lookout later that night and tucking into a feast, Goku asks Piccolo if he remembers the Demon Realm, though he does not due to having been born after the Namekians left, due to not liking being ruled over. Which makes sense, because we saw how much they didn't like being ruled over during the Namek/Frieza saga. Just then, a ship appears from out of nowhere and lands. A pale blue demon steps out and identifies himself as Glorio, before requesting that Goku head back with him to the Demon Realm to help him defeat King Gomah. Goku agrees, wanting also to save Dende, but Shin first asks how Glorio happens to know about Goku. Glorio explains that it was the king of the third demon world, who had watched Goku's battle with Majin Buu and a magic monitor, that ordered Glorio to go and seek him out. Shin decides to go along with the two due to his brother's involvement in the whole affair, and unknowingly his sister's too. Before they take off, Bulma takes a look at Glorio's ship for reference, which will help her fix Shin's ship faster, say that 5 times fast, than was originally expected. Vegeta also decides to tag along, but is unable due to Glorio's ship being limited in capacity to just seating 3 people. I'm sorry, it's funny to see Vegeta, of all people, just get immediately denied. I don't know why it's funny, but it's just funny. Though Shin reminds him that he can join them once Bulma finishes her repairs. Glorio, Goku, and Shin board the ship and take off to begin their journey into the Demon Realm, ending the episode. So yeah, this episode is a lot of setup, and it only has 2 actual major events. Goku reclaiming his power pole for the first time since the original Dragon Ball, because remember, the Z movies aren't canon, And, of course, Goku heading out with Shin and this new character, Glorio, to the Demon Realm. But outside of that, it's a lot of explanation. But it's not boring explanation. It's a lot like with Attack on Titan. It has a lot of exposition dumping, but it's not bad exposition dumping. And it's not to the point of that freaking courtroom scene from Attack on Titan either. So, I can deal with it. It still moves at a pretty good pace, and the laughs alone make it worth it. This is the funniest episode of the two so far. So, yeah, is there anything else to really say? I don't think so. Nope. Okay, yeah, not much else to say. So, here's my final thoughts on the episode. It's a great follow-up episode to the pilot that stuffs in lots of Toriyama-sensei's signature humor, while also bringing back the iconic power pole from the original Dragon Ball in an ingenious and funny way. Only reason it's not higher is because it's very much a setup episode with lots of exposition, and it doesn't really have much action. It's still a great episode regardless, though, especially if you're someone that loves the OG Dragon Ball and loves its more comedy approach, before it started becoming an action show. So, yeah, it's another great episode in this really good continuation of the Dragon Ball series. Now, some of you may be asking, where exactly does this take place in? And I don't think I explained it in the last episode, so I'll explain it a little here. Daima takes place in between the end of Z, which is the end of the Buu saga, all the way up to the beginning of the God Destruction saga, aka Battle of Gods. That's why you don't see Beerus or Whis or any of the characters from Super. Also, the animation here is beautiful. I know that this once part was in the trailer, but the animation of Goku spinning around his power pole, that is some of the smoothest and most beautiful animation that I have seen of Goku wielding that thing since Path to Power 2 decades ago. So, okay, with all that said, let's get to the final verdict. My final verdict for Episode 2 of Dragon Ball Daima, titled Glorio, is an 8 out of 10. It's still a great watch, but it is slower than the last one, and it is very much setup rather than action. Will that change going forward? Well, I'll tell you all about next time when we get to Episode 3, titled Daima. Yeah, one of the episodes is titled after the actual show. It's weird. I'll tell you all about it next time.
Decided for what